Good evening. Today I want to share a story that spans decades, distance, and the deepest parts of the human heart. It's not about war itself, but about what remains after, the memories, the healing, and the small acts of humanity that can echo for generations. This is the journey of one Vietnam veteran and a diary lost in time. It took me 56 years and 87 days to return something I found on a battlefield in Vietnam. A small, beautiful diary left behind after a brutal battle in Đắk Tô, back in 1967. I was a sergeant with the 1st Cavalry Division. After a bloody fight on Hill 724, our mission was to count enemy bodies and collect any war documents. That's when I found it. The diary, inside a discarded backpack. The handwriting, it struck me. It was beautiful, poetic. I couldn't turn it in. Maybe I should have, but I held on to it. At that time, I was just weeks away from going home. All I cared about was surviving and making it back in one piece. Coming home wasn't easy either. I was drafted with just a green card, not yet a U.S. citizen. I felt betrayed. I boxed up my uniform, my medals, everything, and tried to bury the war deep inside. I drank heavily. I was even homeless for a while. But then, I met Christine, my wife. We built a life, raised children, and for decades I barely looked at that diary. But one day I noticed a traditional Vietnamese hat in a client's office, and something clicked. I asked if he could help me find someone to translate it. Page by page I began learning about the young man who wrote it, his poems, his devotion to Ho Chi Minh, his dreams, even his love for a girl he planned to marry. There were no hard feelings, not even when I read how much he hated American soldiers. I understood. He was a young man, caught in the middle of a war. Eventually, I noticed something I hadn't seen before. His name, his sister's name, his parents, his full address, all right there in front of me. That's when I knew I had to return it. Soon the Vietnamese government got involved. One night at 3 a.m., I got a call. The soldier's family had been located. I watched them on my phone as they saw his diary for the first time. They had never recovered his body, had no photos, no mementos, just memories. And now, this. Within a month, Christine and I flew to Vietnam. When I placed the diary in his sister's hands, it felt like I was handing over a piece of stone. Heavy, but once she held it, it felt light. The soldier's name was Calvin Tuat. He was only 21 when he died. His girlfriend, she's still alive, she never married. I still miss that diary sometimes. I have copies, but it's not the same as holding the real thing. Reading his words about love and home in the midst of a battlefield, it made me see the war and my part in it differently. It helped my children understand things I never spoke about. The first time I went to Vietnam, I was sent there to fight. The second time, I brought peace to a family and to myself. If you or someone you love served in Vietnam, know that you're not alone. There are support groups, resources, and people who care. Sometimes peace comes not from a treaty, but from a simple act of returning something lost. Thank you for listening.